Well, hello everyone, and welcome to AJ102, Introduction to Criminal Justice. My name is Tony Farrar, and of course, I am your instructor for this semester. So this lecture is going to be or cover the syllabus review. And just as a point of reference, it's really important that you take the time and go through the entire orientation module. So in its entirety, through every page, there's a lot of critical information in there that's really going to help you be successful in this course. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into our video review. Again, our syllabus review. So if you're following along, we'll start at the top. And you can see again the course, Introduction to Criminal Justice. It's AJ102. The section number is 3050. Keep in mind this semester we are all online. So there really are very few face-to-face classes that are taking place in spring of 2022. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. So kind of moving down the page, my information is here. I am located on the Menifee campus when we are on campus. And you can see the address, and here's my office phone. Here is my email address, my Twitter information. I also have a link to the MSJC Criminal Justice Club Facebook page, which is a group of individuals that are students like you that are interested in criminal justice. A lot of times when we are on campus, we'll do things outside of the classroom. So more information there for you. And then finally, I have a link to the career education website, which is a really good place for you to go, perhaps find a counselor, figure out more about career ed, etc. Okay, so as I mentioned a while ago, we are primarily online this semester. When I do hold office hours, again, my office is on the Menifee campus in the 3000 building. The exact number is 3003. Typically, I am on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays for office hours. For online courses like this one, I will be available on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. And when we're done with this little lecture here, I will take you to the course Canvas page, and I'll show you where you can find the link to access the what I call my meeting room. So again, every Wednesday from 6 to 7. So if you have questions or concerns or you just need some information, etc. Okay. Also, I am available at other times by appointment. So if you don't want to post something or email me direct, you want to have a Zoom conversation or something, just you can email me and we can set that up and we can take care of that online meeting as well. All right. If you do email me, please do me a favor and use this particular header in your email, okay? And the example here would be Farrar AJ102 3050 Intro to Criminal Justice. And the reason is because I teach several classes during the semester, it's really hard for me to remember exactly what class you are in. And some of my students are in several classes. So if you put that in the subject line of the email, it will really help me identify who you are quite a bit quicker, and I can get whatever information you need faster, and I can get it back to you, etc. So do me a favor, and that would really help out. Note that all emails should come from your MSJC email, your college email, not your personal email. And then finally, if you're going to submit a written assignment in Canvas, which you are this semester, please do me a favor and submit it in Microsoft Word. If you send a document in another word processing format like WordPerfect, there's no guarantee that I can open it, or even read it. So if I can't open it, I can't read it. If I can't read it, I can't grade it. If I can't grade it, then I can't give you credit for it. So that would be very, very helpful. Now, if you don't have Microsoft Word, whatever word processing format you're using, just basically make that document into a PDF document and then upload it into Canvas. Don't send it through Google Docs. A lot of students have Google Docs, which is great, but the document, whatever it is that's being uploaded, has to be uploaded directly into Canvas, not through Google Docs, if that makes any sense. So you can still use Google Docs to create the document, make that document a PDF format, and then upload it directly into Canvas. And if you have any questions, we can kind of go over that a little bit further. All right, so also please note that the syllabus that we're discussing right now, it's kind of what we call a living document, therefore it is subject to change. I typically don't like to change a lot of things, but sometimes I might make an adjustment. If I do make any types of changes or adjustments, all students will be made aware of these changes when they occur in the form of either an email or an announcement in Canvas. So that brings up the point to please make sure that you set up your email or whatever electronic device that you have. Make sure that that is set up to receive the notifications, emails, announcements, etc. So that way you are getting timely information. All assignments and due dates are in the syllabus, which is why it's important that you go through the entire orientation module and not only watch this video lecture, which I am hoping that you are doing right now, but also make sure that you read the syllabus in its entirety as well, because again, there's a lot of information. Note that I will be sending out reminders on assignments and due dates periodically throughout the week. A lot of times I'll do it on a Monday and then maybe on a Sunday to kind of give you a reminder, and I'll show you in a minute how the modules work. They typically go from Monday to Sunday, and we'll talk about that. But just know that it is really your responsibility at the end of the day to read the instructions in the syllabus, know when the due dates are, etc. It's not my responsibility to remind you of test days or quizzes or term paper due dates, etc., since all of that information is contained within the syllabus. But with that being said, I will do my best to remind you of certain things. So what exactly is this class? Well, this is AJ102. It's an Intro to Criminal Justice course. And this class covers several aspects of criminal justice, including an introduction, if you will, to the history and philosophy of policing, different agencies involved in the criminal justice process, different ways of crime detection and investigating crimes, arrests, the different applicable laws, prosecution of offenders and the court systems, and sentencing and incarceration. And we'll also take a look at the evaluation of modern police services to include, in your last chapter, how do I get employed in this type of career field? All right. Next, we have the program learning outcomes, the course learning outcomes, and the course learning objectives. Now, I'm not going to go through these individually. I will let you review these at your leisure, but just know these are the criminal justice and corrections, our program learning objectives, okay? Next, we have the course learning objectives, the course learning outcomes. So upon successful completion of this class, these are things that you're going to be able to do. And then here are some of the objectives of the course. So I'll let you go through all of these at your leisure. Okay, next will be the textbook. So you can see the textbook title, Introduction to Criminal Justice. It is the 16th edition. There is a newer book out. It's the 17th edition. You don't need the newest one. You can have, if that's the one you get, that's great. The 16th is fine. And you could even get the 15th edition. That will work as well. Don't go earlier than the 15th edition because there are some new things that have been added. So we want to make sure that we cover that. Now, a quick pitch on the textbook. All right. And I have a picture of it here for you as well. A lot of times I try to keep my lectures to the same length that would be a class lecture. So the video lectures, right? And so that's typically about 60 minutes. Sometimes it's one 60-minute lecture, sometimes it's 2 30 minutes. I'll break it in half, and you'll see that as you go through the course. With that said, it really is difficult for me to cover every single topic that is in the chapter and keep the lecture to about 60 minutes. So having the textbook will kind of help you fill in the gaps, right? It will help you also add some context to a lot of the things that we're going to be discussing and talking about, etc. So I would highly suggest that you get the textbook, whether it's in an e-format or whether it's a loose leaf or whether it's the actual textbook itself. So that's my pitch for you to get the textbook. Next, we have the California Penal Code. Now, it's listed as optional, and honestly, you really don't need it. So the Penal Code, it's not the primary textbook, but we are going to be referring to this book from time to time. If you don't have a copy, hey, that's fine, because I've got a link here to legalinfo.gov, which is a website that has all of the California codes. So what the Penal Code is, in essence, laws in California are statutory, right? So they're written. And because of that, they're all written and they're placed into a book. And that book is called penal law, and the actual book itself is the Penal Code. And the Penal Code contains all of the California laws, if that makes sense. And every state will have its own book, its own set of penal codes, if that makes any sense. Okay. So let's talk now about the check-in. Earlier I talked about make sure that you are going through the entire orientation module, okay? So how do I check into this online class? Well, most of the time, well, all of the time, we'll just say, the courses that I teach, they open on Monday morning at 8 o'clock and they close on the following Sunday. So it's basically that week time frame that you have to get your work done. And I'll go into the course canvas at the end of this lecture and I'll give you a visual. But because Monday is a holiday, class will start on Tuesday. So the class will open on Tuesday the 18th at 8 a.m. Again, we're right here if you're following along. It would normally start on Monday, but it's a holiday. Please make sure to check in using the discussion board in the orientation module. That is part of your official check-in. All right. Also, as part of the check-in, you need to complete a 10-question syllabus quiz. So you're going to have from Tuesday the 18th at 8 in the morning until Sunday the 23rd at 11 p.m. to do this, to go through the orientation module, to take some time and navigate around through the Canvas shell as well, but to also complete your check-in, which again, it's two parts, right? It's the discussion board check-in and the syllabus quiz. Now, please understand, failure to complete the check-in, both parts, is going to result in you being dropped from the class. There are no ifs, ands, or buts on this one, okay? And the reason for that isn't because I'm mean, it's because that typically this course has a long waiting list. So if you don't check in with both parts during that week time period, you are going to be dropped from the class. So really, really important that you get that part done. Okay, let's look at some of the guidelines of the class. So it's a fairly fast-paced course with a lot of reading and information that's going to be provided to you. And because of that, you need to keep up with the reading. Don't just rely on the PowerPoints or the video lectures to get you through the course. Some of the legal terms may be difficult at first for you to understand because you don't know them, right? Therefore, you're going to need to use that textbook that I talked about to read those chapters to fully understand some of the things that we're going over and to also add context to the subject matter. And in some cases, you might even have to look up a word or a term on the, in the internet, the penal code, or in a law dictionary. Now, if you have a problem with any concept, please let me know, and I will discuss it in our general discussion area. All right, and I'll show you where those discussion areas are. There's two discussion areas. One is general and one is student to student. So with all that said, this is not really a super easy class. It's going to require a lot of work on your part if you want to do well, and I really hope you do. However, even though it's not an easy class, this class is going to be super rewarding from all of the information and the knowledge that you're going to gain about the criminal justice system. If you don't have any going into this course, you're going to come out with a lot. So that kind of leads us right into some expectations of the class. Now, you're going to be, required to participate and complete a variety of activities that I'm really confident will achieve the learning objectives that we saw earlier in the syllabus, right? So what exactly are some of these expectations? Well, first, read all of the material. Go through the PowerPoints, read the lecture notes, the articles, your textbook chapters. Next, view the weekly lecture videos that correspond to each chapter. Go through the PowerPoints, etc. Right? Look at the case study videos, and you'll see that each module has an introduction. So read the information in the introduction. Participate in thoughtful and timely discussions via the discussion board, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. Complete the online course matching exercise. As part of the modules, there's a non-graded kind of matching exercise where there's a definition on one side and a term on the other, and you kind of match them up. This is to help you learn the key terms. You can take it as many times as you want, and again, it's non-graded. It's there for you to kind of assess how you're learning the different terms. Next, complete the online and timed quizzes, complete the online and timed exams, complete your case study, and then your midterm writing assignment. And we'll talk a little bit more about those in just a second. But I really want you to know that, at the end of the day here, okay, and this is important, failure to participate in the discussion boards, missing quizzes or exams, failing to turn in any other assignments, or missing a combination of these activities may cause you to be dropped from the course. So it's really important that you kind of note the due dates, right? When things are supposed to be turned in, and make sure you do the work. And another point regarding missing assignments is that a lot of people think that, hey, at the end of the semester, I'm a couple points away from a B or a couple points away from an A, and you email me at the end of the semester saying, what can I do? And then I go back through your grade book and I see that you didn't do any extra credit, you didn't do the case study. So how can I justify giving you a couple of points? Does that make sense? So this is the importance of making sure that you complete all of your assignments. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. All right, synchronous meetings. So although this is an asynchronous course, meaning that you basically have from that Sunday or that Monday until the following Sunday to get work done, there will be times where we're going to have a synchronous meeting, which means that we all kind of log in at the same time. So during the semester, we will have opportunities to meet online via Zoom. And these meetings, when they occur, will be announced well in advance, and it'll be a time for everyone to exchange information, ask questions, cover major topics, etc. And again, you can use the discussion board if you want to for certain questions, but there may be certain things that you want to know about the midterm paper. And what I will do during the semester is we'll have a separate meeting just for going over the midterm paper. So hopefully that will be helpful. So we will have some opportunities for synchronous meetings. All right, so online readiness. So, make sure that you're ready for an online class. Some of you, this may be your first online class. And you've already read about some of the expectations, but if you still need to make, kind of gauge where you're at, and you really don't understand what might be expected of an online student, I've included a couple of links for you. The first here is a link to the MSJC online learning page, where they give you a lot of information on how to navigate through Canvas and different things like that, how to upload assignments. And the same for this link. So this is to a different page on the learning page. And this is video tutorials and some other related information, which is, these videos are really good because they show you how to access your Canvas, how to go to the module section, how to do certain things, how to upload a paper, things that I have in my course Canvas for you. But if you want to kind of really gauge to see where you're at, I would suggest that you go to these two links right here. All right, so technology. Please know that you're responsible for your computer equipment and internet connection independent of the campus. So, basically you need to plan your coursework to be able to accommodate some type of issue, right? And what I'm kind of asking you to do is have a backup plan. Now, if the college Canvas goes down or the web page goes down and you can't access assignments, okay, I'll take care of that. You'll get extra time. We'll make sure that everything is taken care of, etc. What I'm asking you to do is have a backup plan in case something happens on your end. One of the things really to note is don't wait until the last minute to do your assignments, because sometimes on that last minute, something tends to happen, right? So have a backup plan, something that you can do to where you can still keep up and get your assignments completed, etc. And to kind of help out, I've listed some functions of Canvas to be used. Now, one of the things I start with is talking about, hey, check your announcements at least 2 times per week. Make sure you set up your electronic device, again, whatever device you're using to receive these emails or announcements, etc. Okay, so some of the areas to focus on, one would be the modules area. And this is important because the modules are where your weekly assignments are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to title each module so that you're going to know exactly which week the information is for. So an example would be Module 1 will be titled Week 1. And therefore, Week 1 will contain all of the assignments needed to complete the work for Week 1. Now, there's a couple of assignments that have their own modules, and I'll show you that. The case study, extra credit, your midterm paper, those have their own separate modules, but everything else is built into those weekly modules, right? So again, the modules are going to contain your video lectures, your PowerPoints, your introduction into the chapter, your links to videos and articles that I use in the introduction, your exams, your quizzes, your guides, anything else, including the discussion boards. All of that is inside of each weekly module. And the reason for this, or the goal, is for you to be able to find everything for each week in one place without clicking all over the place and trying to find things, okay? And hopefully that makes sense. All right, your discussions module, this is where all the group discussions are going to occur. Announcements, this is where all of the announcements will be that you'll receive, that I'll be sending out. A lot of times it could be a change to something. Maybe somebody saw a question was wrong on an exam, and so I'm going to fix it, because that does happen every once in a while. And I send something out letting everybody know. It might be for a job or a career fair. It might be for an actual upcoming job, a recruitment. So please monitor your announcements. The grade book, that one's easy. That's where your grades are. Extra credit, again, it's its own module. So this is the area where you can find the extra credit assignment. I have one extra credit assignment already built into the class. And then there's another area called other extra credit. And I'll show you where that is so you can kind of look at it at the end of the lecture when we go into the Canvas. As different extra credit things come up, I will post them. And when I post them, then they're out there for you to do if you so desire in order to gain some extra credit. You don't do it on your own, okay? You don't just go do something and then apply for extra credit. I will send out the extra credit assignments, all right? So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so how are we going to learn all this? And we're at the top of the page here. If you're still following along, well, we've got the lecture, the video lecture, the news articles, visual aids, videos, PowerPoints, class participation through the discussions, written assignments, quizzes, exams, the case study, etc. And also note that even though we're not on campus, if I have a class speaker come into a different class via Zoom for a presentation, I'll make sure that you're made aware of that as well, so perhaps you would like to join in. So let's say I have an attorney coming into my criminal law class to talk about prosecuting a case, etc. I'll send that out. So if you want to pop into that Zoom session, you could do that as well. All right, and if you need any type of support or anything I can do, please email me direct or message me on Twitter, etc. Or, there is assistance available to all students at the Learning Resource Center at MSJC or through the help desk, and all of this is available online. All right, so again, kind of a quick reminder, check your Canvas and your email a couple times a week for announcements, different things like that. It really is, your responsibility to monitor Canvas for assignments, changes, etc. Okay? All right, so because we are an online course, I just want to cover what they call netiquette very quickly. So the Student Code of Conduct is available in the MSJC catalog, and I would encourage you to read it. And it's also available online. And basically what this is we're talking about demeanor and language as it relates to discussion boards or videos or similar. Now, there's something called netiquette. And basically it's network etiquette, kind of like the etiquette of cyberspace, right? It's basically a set of rules on how to properly behave, if you will, online. And Virginia Shea, has basically defined these particular issues in a book that she calls Netiquette. And I have here for you a summary of her core rules of netiquette. You can click on the link right here and go to it. Now, they're not going to answer all the questions, but it might provide you some basic info. But really what I'm asking you to do is just understand that when we do discussions, we want everyone to feel involved, right? And the way that we learn through discussions is to allow people to give their opinion. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone's opinion, but understand that everybody has one. We're all different, which makes us unique, thus which makes us all cool because we're all different. If we were all the same, it would be boring. I mean, honestly, right? So again, this is how we learn. So I'm just asking that even if you disagree with somebody, just be polite to everyone because we want everyone to share their thought so we can kind of understand their thought. Now, if you disagree with somebody, you can obviously, in a discussion, you can say, hey, I disagree with that. What about this? Things like that. That's perfectly fine, etc. Students do it all the time. I'm just asking that we be professional in our responses. Okay, so I have a couple of website links that you can look at if you're interested. I have the Cornell Law website and a link to the Supreme Court. Exams and quizzes. So the quiz and exam questions, just so you know, they're going to come directly from your textbook, the lecture PowerPoints, the audio video lecture that I do, or any type of designated article or video, okay? And each week you're going to have a reading assignment, a video lecture, PowerPoint, etc., a 10 to 20 question quiz covering the chapter, and a discussion question on a topic that corresponds with that chapter, okay? And in addition, there's going to be 3 chapter exams, a midterm writing assignment, and a case study. And in each module, again, don't forget I have that non-graded self-evaluation exercise that covers the key terms, and you can take that as many times as you want. Okay, moving on to discussion boards. Discussion boards are typically reflective in nature, okay? Therefore, they're meant to make you think about a certain thing, topic, subject, maybe even research it, consider other perspectives, which is why we have students respond to each other, and then provide a response. Now, for this class, you're going to have a total of 16. The first one is the course check-in. Don't forget about that one. That's still a discussion. And the remaining 15 are discussion questions that correspond to each chapter. Now, each discussion board is worth up to 10 points. And when responding to a discussion board, make sure you read the information or watch the corresponding video, and also the introduction in the module there, and respond with what I call a complete and well thought out response. Now, you can submit your discussion in one of 2 ways. The standard way is you reply or you post a discussion and it's written, it's text, right? Or you can post a video through Canvas Studio. Now, if you do the video, make sure that you post the link, okay, or you actually upload the video, either one, but I have to have access to the video. And students have done this with discussion boards, and I found it very interesting. It's different than the written one or the written way, but you can do it either way. Now, if it's written, for full point credit, your response has to be 5 sentences. Also, don't just copy the response from another student's post. The more focused and thought out the response, the more points you will receive. And sometimes these discussions, there's no right or wrong. I'm just trying to see what you think, okay? So again, don't just respond with I agree or similar. Tell me what you think. Now, with that being said, feel free to respond or comment on another student's post, right? Because this is how we get the discussion going. So you can say to another student, hey, I agree. that's fine. But your post, your initial post needs to be fit the criteria of those 5 sentences or via video, again, through Canvas Studio. Okay, so next I'm going to talk briefly about the case study. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. So this is the title of your case study, and you'll see a module in your course Canvas, and I'll show it to you later. So this is kind of the case study for this particular course. In your case study, here's the questions that I want you to answer. So I'm giving you the questions to answer. Now, you can submit this, and here we are in the middle of the page. You can submit this in one of 3 formats. You can write it, you can do a PowerPoint, or you can do a video. All right, so either way, if you do it written, here's the directions. If you create a PowerPoint, use your imagination, etc. If you use a video, okay, you can use Canvas Studio, or you can even do it on YouTube, but you have to submit the link. Remember, I have to be able to pull it up and see it, okay? But no matter what, in any format that you decide to do your case study, you have to answer the questions. So in any format, you need to address these questions, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and there's more in your Canvas. Here's your extra credit assignment. It's the Rialto Police Department body-worn video experiment, okay? And here's some information about that, all right? Here's the questions that I want you to answer, okay? And you can submit it in one of 3 formats. If you like to write, here you go. If you want to do a PowerPoint, be creative, that's cool. Or you can do a video, all right? Same, it applies the same as up here that we looked at for your case study. All right. Okay, so just kind of a general overview to kind of wrap things up as we start to move through here. All lectures, PowerPoints, quizzes, exams, discussion information, everything else, remember, they're posted and available on Monday at 8 a.m., and then everything is due the following Sunday night. So finally, the example, this course will open on, it normally opens on Monday, but Monday's a holiday, so Tuesday the 18th, you'll have until the 23rd at 11 p.m. to complete everything in the week 1 module. That's going to be the entire, go through all of the pages in the orientation module and do the discussion board check-in and the syllabus quiz, okay? Now, as a general rule, there are no makeup assignments, okay? Because you have 6 days basically to complete the weekly assignments. Therefore, it really is up to you to get the work done. Emergencies, I know stuff happens. Those things will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. I know there's jury duty, military deployment, medical emergencies, all the other stuff, okay? But keep in mind that it's your responsibility to make time for completing the assignments. Please do not wait until the last minute, okay? Because that's when things usually happen. Set time aside during the week. I am going to do my best to remind you of due dates, but it is your responsibility. So with that said, here are a couple of quick, helpful hints. There are really 2 or 3 main issues that I see with online students who have issues, right? First is the inability to keep track of due dates. So you have to be able to self-pace and regulate. Keep track of the assignment due dates and don't wait until the last minute to do your work. All right, it just doesn't work. Second, the thought that because there are so many little quizzes and discussion boards, etc., missing a few won't matter. Excuse me. The reality is it kind of does. Because missing assignments, it adds up quick, you guys, and before you know it, you're behind. Also, I said this earlier, when you get to the end of the semester, I usually have about 5% of the class that will email me on the very last day of class asking what they can do for a couple of extra points because they're 2 points away from a B or they're 2 points away from an A. And my first look is going to be going back to see, did you do all your assignments? Did you do the extra credit? Did you do any other extra credit? Did you try to make it up anywhere else, or are you just waiting until the last minute to ask me for a couple of points? All right, so you can see the issue that kind of comes down there. So do the assignments. Don't wait until the last minute. All right. Okay. So here is a quick look at the grading scale. And then here are your assignments. You have the 3 chapter exams. You have your discussion boards, your check-in discussion, your syllabus quiz, your case study, the midterm paper, and your quizzes for a total of 630. And then remember, I do have the extra credit assignment built in. I've got some important dates here. I will let you look at these at your leisure. And also, if there's anything that I need that can help you be successful in the class, or you need any type of accommodation, please let me know what I can do to make you successful in this particular course. Next, we have your written assignment. This is going to be your midterm paper. If you've never written a midterm paper before, don't panic. It's not a regular essay. What we will do is during the semester, I'll have a special synchronous meeting, or we can do it on one of my office hours nights where you can log in and we'll just talk about the midterm paper. Also, in your course Canvas is a module just for the midterm paper, and there's a video on how to cite your references, on how to do your reference page, and how your paper should actually look. So I'll show you that when we get to the end of this video lecture. Here's the questions that you need to answer and the instructions on this. And then finally, everybody knows what plagiarism is. So copying a part of a sentence from a text, article, news story, or paper without acknowledging the source is considered plagiarism. Even copying or changing just a couple of words, right? The best rule of thumb is if you didn't think of it yourself, or it's not common knowledge, you need to cite it. If in doubt, cite it. And again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. Everybody should know by now what in-text citations are, but if you go to the module, right, your midterm writing assignment module, it will show you examples of how to do your citations. Okay. So finally, we're at the point where we're going to talk about the course outline. This is the schedule, basically, and then we're going to go to the Canvas shell. So here is week 1, okay? So just to kind of give you an idea. So remember, it would open on, okay, these dates are actually wrong, and I'm going to change them right in front of you. So this is what I like about being live, right? So this is January. So this is kind of cool. See, even instructors make mistakes, right? So January, and then this is wrong too, and I fixed all the other ones, but I didn't do these. Oops. January. All right. Well, that's the benefit about going through this too. Okay, so I think we're looking a little bit better now. Okay, so you can see the class opens on the 18th of January, not August, and this is what we're doing, okay? And then it closes on the 23rd. So this is week 1. Week 2, you can see here, okay, it opens on the 24th, closes on the 30th. You have the matching, so you have your, it's going to be crime and criminal justice. You have the matching exercise, the non-graded one. You have your quiz and your discussion board. And you can see the modules are very similar, and that's for consistency. Now, there's going to be a change when you get to week 6. You still have your chapter 5. Okay, you have public policing and private security. You have the lecture, the video lecture. You have your weekly quiz, which corresponds to chapter 5. You have your key term exercise. This is your first chapter exam covering chapters 1 through 5. And then you have a discussion question. So you have an added assignment here. Hopefully you guys can, you can see that. Okay, and as you go down through, you'll start to see when things are due. You can see week 12. Your midterm paper is due, right? You go a little bit further, okay? Week 15, your case study is due. Week 16, all your extra credit is due, all right? So this kind of walks you through the schedule. Now, with that being said, let's just jump over, and this isn't published yet, okay? But you should be able to see it. This is what your course Canvas looks like. When you log into the main page, a couple of videos for you to watch. Get on here to My Information. You can see online office hours, Wednesday 6 to 7. Here's the link to the office hours. All right. Now you can just, you can click through the module views, or the best thing to do you can click Start here. And this will start to walk you through the orientation. Okay, I've got a little intro video, go Boise State, gives you some more information. I've got 2 discussion board areas. The donut shop is the general discussion area. The squad car is student to student. You can kind of look that there. And you can go through the orientation by clicking Next. And you can see here, here's a little bit of information about me. You can click Next. And this is the orientation module. Now, if you want to look at the module view, you can go on your little selector, your bar over here, and you can see the link to modules. If you click modules, you'll see what the introduction or the orientation module looks like. It's got all of this stuff, right? Is this big one right here. And you can click each one, or you can just walk through. You can see as part of this orientation, you have the check-in discussion and the syllabus quiz. All right. I also have modules for how to access Zoom. All right. I have modules for the Criminal Justice Club. I have modules for some cool websites. So if you click on this and you're interested in any of these shows, you can click on those. So just to kind of show you that there's some other things in here. All right, we'll go a little further. There's a module on the Bill of Rights and some videos. Court system. Here is your midterm paper module. You can see there's a video lecture. If you don't want to hear me talk, here's the PowerPoint. These 2 are the same. One is narrated, one is not. This is your case study. I'm sorry, your midterm writing assignment. Okay, and you can see the due date as well. You can click on it and it'll give you, here's how you upload your essay. We typically, every semester, have a AJ writing tutor. I haven't updated that information yet, but I will, but this is where you would find it. Here's the module for your case study. Here's the module for the built-in extra credit. Here's a module for other extra credit. Now keep in mind, for other extra credit, you don't just go out and do stuff and submit it. I will send out the opportunity for extra credit, and then you complete that assignment, whatever it is, and then you upload it. Okay, so I'll let you know what falls under other extra credit. Here's what a module looks like. Okay, this is week 2. Remember, week 1 is the orientation. Week 2, you have the chapter overview. So it gives you an overview of the chapter. You can go down here and click Next, and it'll give you the introduction and a video that I would like you to watch. Then you have the video lecture. This is a 2-parter, right? Then you have the PowerPoint. Then you have the key term exercise. Remember, this is non-graded. Then you have the quiz. You can see it's 1 point per question. So on this one, there's 15 questions. Then you have the discussion. Okay. One new thing that's kind of been added, instead of replying to each student via like just, writing or text, and so I'm not repeating a response to every single student, what I'll do is I'll go in, I'll read all of your discussions, I'll grade them, and then I do a response video talking about what you guys, what was the most popular answer and what everybody thought and some differences of, between students, etc. Okay. And then I'll post that video here, and you can even respond to that video if you want. So that's something new for this semester. And then the unit summary. And on here at the very end, this is where you're done with this particular module. I have some cool links. One is to Oyas, which is a great website for case studies, Cornell Law, and then legal info and codes. So I'm hoping that kind of helped. Now I'm going to go to the discussion area. There's 2 discussion boards, if you will. The first is the donut shop. So this is where you would post general questions. And you can see I subscribe to that one, right? So that's, so if you have a question, I can answer it or another student can answer it. And then we have the squad car. This is student to student. And you can see I don't subscribe to this. So it's just for you guys to discuss back and forth. All right, and then you can see all of the other links. Now you can access a lot of this stuff by going through some of the other links. You can find the syllabus here. You can go to module view here. you can go to the donut shop from here, okay? Or you can just go directly to discussions and click on donut shop, all right? Or you can go to the grades page, or you can go to the module page. Note again, you have Zoom is right here for you, okay? On your left right here, Studio for Canvas Studio, or Studio right here if you want to record a video. So I'm really hoping that this kind of helped you at least navigate through. And I would take a moment when you get in here just so you can kind of see. It really does help moving around through the course Canvas to kind of get acclimated to what's inside the particular course. So again, module view is here. Remember the introduction. You want to do the entire orientation or introduction, okay, for week 1. So you want to go through each one of those pages. You can find the syllabus in 2 different places. You can find it here, okay, or you can click on here. So it's in 2 different spots. But if you're walking through these pages after the syllabus, then you'll have the check-in discussion, and then you'll have the quiz, okay? All right, so hopefully that really does kind of help everyone. I look forward to having a great semester with all of you, and stand by for more information as I send it out. Again, make sure you hook up your electronic device so you can receive different notifications, and that's going to be it. So that'll conclude our syllabus review video.